There was a time when you were moving forward. You woke up with a clear plan. You worked on your goals every single day, and you truly believed that little by little your life was changing for the better. And then, something happened. You missed one day, just one missed morning. But one day quickly became 3 days. 3 days became a whole week, and somehow a week turned into a month. Now, you look at the things you once cared about so deeply. The unfinished notebook on your desk, the workout shoes sitting in the corner, or the quiet dream you stopped chasing. And a heavy, silent thought begins to hurt more than anything else. Maybe I have lost myself. But what if you have not lost yourself at all? What if you do not need to find your old motivation? What if you do not need to catch up on everything you missed? What if all you need is one small step? Welcome back to English Growth Stories, a channel dedicated to improving your English listening skills while sharing inspirational lessons for personal growth. If you are joining our community today, please take a moment to subscribe and click the bell notification so you can stay connected and keep growing with us every week. Today, we share the story of a man who lost his momentum, lost his confidence, and almost gave up on his dream, until one ordinary evening taught him something he would never forget. You do not have to start where you stopped. You just have to start. Let us look back at the beginning of his journey. Not long ago, this young man felt focused, proud, and alive. Every morning, his alarm would ring at 6 o'clock, and he did not hesitate for a single second. He stood up immediately, drank a fresh glass of water, and put on his running shoes. As he ran through the quiet streets before sunrise, he felt a deep sense of pride inside his chest. He was building something real, sentence by sentence, step by step, day by day. After his morning run, he would sit at his small wooden desk, open his study journal, and practice English for 45 minutes. His goal was clear. He wanted to speak English with confidence and build a better future for himself. He watched his skills growing like a small tree, slowly but steadily, and every night he went to sleep feeling peaceful. He believed that discipline was now his permanent identity, and that nothing could break his focus. For 3 straight months, he never missed a single day. His friends noticed his bright energy. His family saw his calm focus, and he felt completely unstoppable. Momentum is a wonderful feeling when you have it, because every action feels light, natural, and effortless. You do not have to fight with your mind every morning, because your strong habits carry you forward automatically. But momentum can also create a silent trap, a quiet belief that you will never fail. Then, one rainy Tuesday morning, everything changed. The alarm rang at 6 o'clock, but the room was cold, dark, and uncomfortable. He turned over in his warm bed, looking at the ceiling, and thought to himself, "I am so exhausted today. Just one extra hour of rest will not hurt." So he pushed the snooze button and closed his eyes. That single choice felt completely harmless in the moment. It was only one morning after all, but when he finally woke up at 8 o'clock, a strange feeling settled in his stomach. It was a small, uncomfortable shadow of regret. He promised himself that he would make up for it in the evening, but when evening arrived, he was drained from a long workday. "I will start fresh tomorrow morning," he whispered to himself as he turned off his light. But tomorrow arrived, and getting out of bed felt even harder than before. Slipping into old habits is surprisingly easy, because missing one day breaks the psychological chain of momentum in your mind. The second day passed without a run or a study session, and suddenly a quiet voice inside his head whispered, "You already broke your streak, so what is the point of trying today?" By Friday, he had stopped setting his morning alarm completely. A single week turned into 2 weeks, and 2 weeks quickly became a whole month. During this time, The young man was not happy or relaxed. He was feeling worse with every passing day. Every time he walked past his running shoes near the door, he felt a sharp wave of guilt. Every time he looked at his closed English textbook sitting on his desk, he felt like a failure. He wanted to start again. He truly did, but a heavy wall of resistance was standing in his way. That wall was built out of two dangerous emotional traps: perfectionism and guilt. He believed that if he started again, he had to run just as far as before and study just as long as before. He felt like he had to make up for 30 missed days all at once, and that giant mountain made his mind surrender before he even tried. He kept telling himself, "I will restart when I feel motivated again. I will wait until Monday." But motivation did not return. Because motivation does not fall from the sky while you sit in silence. One Sunday evening, the sun was setting slowly outside his window, painting long dark shadows across his bedroom floor. He was sitting on the edge of his bed, scrolling mindlessly through his phone, feeling empty, distant, and deeply tired of his own excuses. He looked across the room at his desk, where a thin layer of dust had settled on top of his favorite notebook. He remembered the feeling of pride he used to carry every morning, the quiet confidence in his steps, and the joy of daily improvement. Tears of frustration filled his eyes as he asked himself a painful question: is this who I am now? Am I someone who just gives up? In that quiet moment, he realized a crucial truth about human psychology. He had been waiting for a feeling to change his behavior, but behavior changes feelings, not the other way around. He realized that he did not need to fix his entire life tonight. He did not need to run 5 miles. He did not need to study for 3 hours. He only needed to break the heavy cycle of doing nothing. So, without overthinking, without planning a massive routine, he stood up from his bed. He walked over to the corner of his room, picked up his dust-covered running shoes, and slowly tied his shoelaces. His mind tried to argue with him. "It is late. You are out of shape. You cannot do a real workout tonight." But he answered the doubt with a simple, quiet thought: "I am not trying to do a full workout. I am just going to walk outside for 3 minutes." He opened his front door and stepped out into the cool air. The night breeze felt refreshing against his skin, and his heart began to beat with life again. He started walking down the pavement, slowly, without any expectations. 3 minutes of walking turned into 5 minutes. 5 minutes turned into 10 minutes of a gentle jog. He was not fast. His breathing was heavy, and his legs felt weak, but something deep inside his mind began to reset. The heavy weight of guilt began to melt away, replaced by a warm, familiar sense of hope. When he returned to his room 15 minutes later, he was tired, but he was smiling for the first time in a month. He sat down at his desk, opened his notebook, and studied just 3 simple English words. That night, he slept deeply and peacefully. He had not fixed everything in 15 minutes, but he broke the dangerous spell of avoidance. The next morning, he did not force himself to perform perfectly. Instead, he simply put his shoes on again and took another small step. Day by day, 3 minutes became 10 minutes. 10 minutes became 20 minutes, and 3 vocabulary words expanded into full pages of study. He discovered that momentum is not a sudden flash of light. It is a wheel that turns very slowly at first, one small push at a time. Within a few weeks, his daily rhythm was restored. His mind felt clear again, and his confidence returned stronger than before. But this time, he was much wiser. He understood that losing momentum is a normal part of life, and that falling off track does not mean your journey is over. Let us take a moment to reflect on this lesson together. How often do we trap ourselves in the exact same way? We set high goals for our health, our career, or our English learning, and when life gets chaotic, we let guilt keep us frozen in place. We convince ourselves that if we cannot do everything perfectly, we should not do anything at all. But personal growth is not an all-or-nothing mission. It is a continuous practice of returning to your path with kindness. Losing your momentum does not mean losing your progress, your potential, or your ability to succeed. You do not need to recover all your lost time today, and you do not need to wait for a new week, a new month, or a sudden burst of inspiration. Look at where you are standing right now. What is one tiny action you can take today to show yourself that you are still trying? Can you read just one page of a book, write down one English sentence, or walk outside for 5 simple minutes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us what small step you're taking today, because your words might be the exact encouragement another learner needs to read right now. If this story brought inspiration to your life, please hit the like button, subscribe to English Growth Stories, and click the bell notification so we can continue learning together every week. Remember this timeless truth before you go: starting again is not a sign of failure. Starting again is proof that you still believe your future is worth fighting for. Keep moving forward, keep believing in yourself, and we will see you in the next story.